Please, let's start with how did you get involved with the movie? What's the breaking in story?
I'll tell you how I got involved. I was just a kid with a dream. A kid who was 44 at the time, but I dressed like a child. So that was deceptive, and in Hollywood that seemed to instigate the magic. People were like, who is this young buck? Just because I had a dicky bow. And I met a young punk called Steven Spielberg, and I said to him, you look like you could shine a few shoes. And he said he'd be up for it, so he became my shoe shiner.
So, Steven Spielberg, what are your main memories of the initial meeting?
Well, surprise.
I was still in special effects at the time. I made a giant whale. I made a giant cockroach. Giant bird. Old Stevie Spunkface, Spielberg, to his friends. He said, hey, I've told a story to a little gypsy down the road, and he wants to make it into a movie. He's got a boat. I need something huge. I went, I'm not even worried about it. I got a giant sparrow I fucking finished yesterday. Come to my garage.
When I was writing the movie, I didn't have a sparrow in mind, but it soon became the new thing.
Came to my garage and he looked at the sparrow and he went, holy fuck, this is what it must look like to be a worm. I went, that's the whole fucking point of making it giant, you asshole. And he said, okay, cool, we'll make a film called Jaws about giant sparrow on a boat.
What did you have in mind?
A shark, a kind of big.
Do you
shark.
think the film would have turned out to be a bigger it's famously the least successful film.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
Well,
It's a blockbuster failure. Do you
Yeah.
think in an alternate universe, a shark would have been a better choice?
yeah, maybe it would have, but it's really hard for me to say, because I don't, since then, back then, I really haven't been in the whole movie game. I mean, I'm a caddy for a pro golfer.
Do you daydream about maybe you could have been something if
Oh,
you'd gone with
yeah,
the shark?
I have all sorts of, I have ideas. I write them on napkins, extraterrestrials, and, let's go to, let's go forward to the future. But none of those things have really kind of happened, and so I have to kind of just live with that. So, please tell us, back in the day, the original idea for the movie obviously was to be a horror film.
Yeah, he had a goofy. He's a kid with a bumblebee batting around his skull like a fly inside a mausoleum, like a priest who's lost his glasses or his contact lenses in the Sistine Chapel, wondering where the ceiling is, but he's just bouncing off the walls, telling people about it without having actually seen it. That's what he was like. A kid, a dreamer, a sleepwalker in day-to-day life, which we all know is dangerous. Walk out on the motorway, you're going to get hit by a salami van.
What can you tell me about funding with your new Sparrow-based script? Because the shark-based script had a lot of Hollywood interest.
Oh yeah, I was getting a whole bunch of attention from a lot of people about the Jaws script. I had a whole raft of meetings in L.A. and I was kind of the man of the moment there for a little while, and then all of a sudden it kind of changed when I introduced the Sparrow. I have to admit, I changed things.
So how much are you willing to accept that it was kind of your responsibility?
Yeah, I'll accept it was my responsibility completely. He had this script about the shark, and that was getting some sort of buzz about it. But I said to him, the shark is already pretty big. What's terrifying about something that's reasonably large becoming slightly larger? I had a double-decker bus, and I said, oh, why don't we add 3 more seats on the bus? Am I going to shit myself when I get on the bus? Hell no, I'm not even going to notice it. I'm just going to sit down, scratch my Johnson, and read the daily paper. You take something small and you make it huge, you're laughing. This is like 8 times more majestic than the sparrow in real life. Which, if you think about it, is 8 times more majestic than God made it in the first place.
So you're better than God.
You said it, not me.
It was a good Sparrow. I mean, if you were making a movie about a sparrow, a friendly sparrow, the problem was it looked like a friendly sparrow. Like you look into look at the sparrow, and I was like, oh, I like him. I mean, I like him too much. People on the beach were like, oh, look, a sparrow, and they ran into the water. It was kind of opposite effect.
Yeah, it's true. I even dealt with that, though. We gave it red eyes. And name me anything that's got red eyes that isn't, the devil isn't controlling.
Albino people?
The devil is definitely controlling albinos. One of them fleeced me out my rent last month. Fucking albinos.
Can you describe the first scene where the monster,
sheriff-
the sparrow, is first
Oh
witnessed?
yeah, well the sheriff turns up at the beach and there's been a horrible sparrow attack.
It was Bobby Hoskins playing the sheriff. Sparrow! He's shouting, and everyone's running around trying to hide any cakes, snacks.
Poor child had lost his like a sandwich instead of his legs, and the sheriff is investigating, and it feels fairly tenuous at best. And then of course he's got his gun and he goes to the water's edge and looks in, and his red eyes looking at him, and he's thinking, oh my, hope it's not a sparrow, and that didn't make so much sense.
The sparrow is doing a little danger dance. I really made the sparrow have a dance that was very ominous and threatening.
And it was kind of, it was, I don't know, it was just a happy dance, and you looked at it and it made you smile, and it was a disappointing movie.
One of the best movies in cinema history. It scared the bejesus out of me. It scared the bejesus out of my ex-wives.